You know what else I can't get mad at?
What can't you get mad at?
Lenderleon's podcast.
Oh, I sure can get mad at that. In fact, I have before and I will again.
Hell yeah, brother. We had the world's final happen this weekend. This is the second time that a world's final has gone to 5 games. And
What was the first?
SKT versus Samsung in 2016.
Damn, it's been a minute, huh?
Yes. Everything else has been a 3-0 or 3-1. Because those are the other two options. And none of them have been remotely as close as this one or that the SKT Samsung one.
Mm-hmm.
In general, like, I think this tournament definitely got saved by the top 4. It was almost a disaster. Like if we had one more 3-0, I still would have called it a bad tournament. But at this point, it's like it's pretty normal. This is pretty okay. This is fine. I still want a fucking format change, but this is good.
Pussy.
By comparison.
I don't know. I just burped and told you something. I don't even know.
Oh, man. Especially since...
What?
Apparently...
Oh, sorry, go.
Apparently we were a little bit, or at least I was a little bit too quick to judge, assuming that the T1 versus Damwon series would have been the finals. A little bit too quick to judge on the trailer.
Wait, you called this a 3-2?
That's true. But even then, even though I called it a 3-2, I didn't think it would be that close.
That doesn't make sense.
You didn't think it'd be that close. You would have been more in line with Dion, but yeah. All right. So let's start talking about what happened in the series. This definitely became about first off Jarvan. I was very right in that the Jarvan was like huge for this champ select. It really put DK in a spot where they had to ban Jarvan because JJ is just so strong on it. And then it became about Kennen and Graves in the top lane, which is something I've been like waiting for to happen this entire bracket stage.
And it was, yeah. Graves is a shared pick between both top laners, Khan and Philandre. It just seemed that Philandre was better.
Yeah, his Graves is really, really good.
Yes, but just in the series too. I think, what is it? Khan had a very bad performance on the Gwen. I really think EDG started picking up steam when they realized, oh, we can abuse Khan in this 2v2 because Canyon's not going to show up here. And for the most part, they were right. Either Canyon didn't show up, or in the last game, he didn't really have the agency to show up. He was playing the Trundle.
In game 1, they gave Khan Yasuo.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
I don't know why we did this. I don't know who thought it was a good idea. But we give Khan Yasuo game 1 World's Finals for what? To counter Graves? Didn't happen. Did not counter Graves. Don't know why Yasuo is a counter to Graves specifically when people love to act like Windwall's this broken ability, but as soon as I see Windwall, I'm like, I get to save my mana. What?
No button pressing. Understood, brother. Have a nice day.
Like, it's so easy to beat Windwall because a lot of Yasuo players just feel like it's an unbeatable ability. But if you're a ranged champion and you stand like perpendicular to it, like the wall's here and you're over here, you can just walk back and forth and keep hitting things.
You can also just not insane. Press buttons for a little bit.
Yeah, but you're an AD carry. You ain't got that option. You just keep firing. I've beaten so many Yasuos just by like standing on the side of their wall and acting like, what are you gonna do? Stand inside of it? Good luck. They don't stand inside of it. That would work actually. So I heavily question this pick. They don't have anything to combo with it either. They have a LeBlanc who does nothing, a Ziggs who can only use his satchel charge, which should be used on turrets, not really to give Yasuo in entry. Then they have Rakan, which is okay. Rakan's an okay support with it. But then you have Xin Zhao, who needs to land 3 autos to get a knockup on 1 target.
Yep.
I think actually
The
his ult works too.
his ult works too. It's the AoE knockback there. It just didn't look like they had that great of a performance. I don't really know much else to say, but it felt very much like Khan specifically didn't have that great of a performance.
The whole series, Khan was like really not performing that well. He was making a lot of mistakes. He was getting found a lot. I didn't think that they would win. EDG would beat them by exploiting Khan, but Khan sort of like let them do that. There wasn't a lot that like Khan or Canyon really did that made me feel like they were in control or even better players. Like JJ and Flandre they were just better than their counterparts this entire series. Yeah. And they put so much more pressure on draft than I think anyone on DK did.
Yeah, it was really insane too. Like game 4, JJ was basically running the jungle on the Viego into the Talon that Canyon had. And after, of course, stealing away his red, stealing away his top side, and a lot of times Canyon came back and was like, well, my top side jungle's gone. He did convert it into a lead and actually got Flandre ahead and kept on, just getting in the better of Canyon on the Talon. The Talon did not have that impact that they wanted this game.
I was really hoping that DK had something a little bit more like some other new pick to bring up, but like nothing really happened. I guess I don't know. Yeah, nothing really came up. They pulled out Malzahar in game 2. Showmaker showed us how you win League of Legends. You don't need high skilled champions like Zed or LeBlanc or Cassidy. No. You lock in Malzahar and just turn off a champion for 4 seconds and watch what happens.
Oh yeah, he was a huge threat, and people kept on in the later games. It was like, yes, we're flashing to use everything to kill the Malzahar because they had to. They didn't have a proper response to it.
Malzahar is like, I think Malzahar is a sleeper OP in the game in general. I think in most of the time his ultimate is just such good utility, and he has so much damage that he can deal. Like if you're on a wave, if you're like just in general in a bunch, like his E is a lot of damage. It's like 500 damage over time, and if he has a Rylai's, you're slowed. And it gives him mana on swaps. I love Malzahar. It's the only way you can beat Faker.
That is true, but also he had just good enough lockdown, especially on Aurelia, which Flandre was playing, and I'm forgetting which counterpart that Scout was playing in the mid lane.
LeBlanc.
LeBlanc, yeah, just good single target lockdown. So it's very hard to actually miss LeBlanc when you have him CC'd for like a good 8 seconds. Even with the invisibility.
Yeah, LeBlanc's not that strong into Malzahar because you can dodge like a third of her damage on her combo, and when she goes in, you can just press R and immediately turn her off, and you can silence her when she goes in too, so she can't jump back, and you have more time to CC her. They were running Leona with it, which is really good. You can run Jhin for more CC combo. She still can't jump back. I think they comboed pretty good with Kiana, right? Where they would grab somebody, ult them with Malzahar, Kiana comes in, jumps onto them, ults them into the wall for a chain.
And also just to deny people from walking through those little choke points that you'd have to get from the jungle into the river. There was a lot of times that it would hit someone else on the back end, even though they wouldn't, die. It would just buy more time.
Malzahar, I can turn a 1v1 into a 2v1 in 4 seconds flat. Just stand there real quick.
Yeah, I guess it showed up. The series did show up. Especially like DK Khan getting the first initial win on the Graves. I believe that was either game 2 or game 3.
The first Graves?
Yes, the first Graves that he played.
Game 2.
Game 2.
Khan has it. Oh no, it's in game one. Fight Flandre ran at game one on Graves.
No. When Khan had Graves, because Khan had a
Oh,
win on Graves
yeah,
too.
it's game two, yeah, okay.
Game 2. All right.
I misheard you.
Um, what is it? Canyon taking the Trundle in game 5. It didn't feel like a Canyon champion. It didn't.
Oh my god, the Trundle.
It really didn't do anything.
I don't know how they stalled this game out that long. It's ridiculous to me that they were able to stall the game out. This comp is why I feel like no game of League of Legends can function without a marksman. No, Graves is not a marksman. No. If you were telling me Graves is a marksman, you don't understand League of Legends. Like,
Nope.
like there's no range DPS for anything to happen here. Your range DPS is Syndra or Ziggs, and both of them suck. Like, Ziggs' poke and Syndra's target like you need that, like Caitlyn, that Jinx, that Vayne. You need something to just give like straight damage. Even like Jhin, who's really big shot heavy, it's the range is what does it. His ult is what makes him crazy. It's just you need that, and they don't have it here.
I think Ghost Ziggs has shown up enough times to demonstrate like how good it can be. What really happened is like getting locked out, getting like that many ocean drakes, just put a DK on the back foot because all of your damage is coming from poke. If it gets like healed up even a little bit, like that's not a good time. Um, Getting the ocean soul into that composition, that just kind of ends it. Because it's like, all right, yeah, you can do a lot of damage, but you're still not bursting people. You're still a one profile composition. The Graves isn't really going to do too much if he gets locked down and just killed. Um, Even like a null magic mantle has an insane amount of value, along with that ocean drake. It's
Yeah, when you're regenerating health, resistance becomes a lot more valuable because you're getting extra turns on the resistance for the damage. It like I don't. When you play Ziggs, you need to be able to cycle through towers. Basically,
yes.
if you play Ziggs and you don't fully kill 2 turrets before 14 minutes, you've kind of failed on your Ziggs play.
Yes, but even that, they were able to get the early tower. Like they traded like 1-for-1 in towers initially, but it's also a Flandre got a kill insanely early,
Well, first
and
turret
then
doesn't fall till 14 minutes.
Mhm.
So, like, you need to be taking down turrets with this. You need, like, they got the Herald at 8:44, and then they
Yes.
don't take down a turret until 14:26.
No, the Herald should have came down earlier, and with the Ziggs, like that should have probably just taken a turret immediately. Um, but also like Flandre got an insane early game. He got the one kill on Khan. JJ comes around and they get a second kill on Khan top lane, and then he gets a big ultimate just in the mid game and just wipes through Damwon because your Ziggs can't really move that far, your Syndra can't really move that far. Your Trundle can't move that far. There's a real heck of mobility. You clump up in front of that cannon, he's gonna do a lot of damage. Uh yeah, and then after like Flandre started showing up to the fights, it kind of seemed like an open and shut case. Beryl wasn't able to clear out enough wards. Um it's just that massive damage that Cannon's able to deal. And they were able to use it and convert it into more dragons, more kills, and keep the game snowballing in their favor.
Cannon, I thought that this entire series was going to come down to who could get Cannon, because I didn't feel like Graves was that strong, and I thought Cannon was a good answer into it. But like watching these teams play around Cannon Ultimate was absolutely fucking crazy, because Cannon would go in and then everyone's gone. Nobody's in the Kennen ult anymore. And I'm just like, how the fuck do you play Kennen when everyone's this good, this quick? Every time I had to play Kennen, everyone just stands there waiting for me to kill them. It's just too easy. And these guys are gone. They're not stacked up at all. It's a miracle if you can get 2 people in a Kennen ult in this game.
Mm-hmm. But getting 2 people in the Kennen ult during that game is still massive.
Yeah.
Oh my, that is the highest impact ultimate that, well, I guess maybe that's not as high as a 5-man impact, but given like the level that they're playing at, that's still a pretty high impact ultimate. He's constantly locking down like 2 people to just get CC changed. And Ghost was having a great performance too. I guess I give like a lot of credit to Flandre and JJ, but like Scout and Ghost were still having a good time. They were able to convert as well.
Yeah, definitely in their wins, I felt like Scout and Ghost were doing pretty good, but still, Pond and Canyon,
Yeah. It was a good series. It did go all the way to 5 games, and it did feel like everyone was playing at a high level. It's just, I'm a little sad. I wanted Damwon to win. I wanted Canyon and Showmaker to be like, you know, the best mid jungle duo.
Why? Why did you want that? Out of curiosity.
I'm a bit biased towards Korea.
Yes, but why? I'm asking for an explanation.
They felt like their series against T1 was like such a good series that it felt like by comparison, they just were better than EDG. That wasn't the case this series.
That doesn't explain why you wanted it though.
Why I wanted it?
Why do you want
said,
Canyon and
you said you
Showmaker to win
wanted
worlds?
them to be the best. And I'm asking what, you know what, fuck it, it doesn't matter. Next topic, keep going.
Next topic.
So, one thing that came out of this series is that Flandre is the only non-Korean solo laner to win worlds since 2012.
Jesus.
The last one was shit. I just looked up the roster. I forget who TPA's top lane is.
Holy shit. That is an insane stat, actually.
Yeah, it's sort of crazy that China requires Korean solo laners to win worlds.
I mean,
that's wonky.
Jeez,
his name is Stanley.
Stanley. Yeah. Stanley in the top lane.
Stanley, the guy with the Mundo skin.
Wow. That's a goated name, actually.
Flat Stanley, word to my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Poise was the last non-Korean mid laner to win worlds.
Yeah. That's
the Korean solo laner dominance is crazy.
It absolutely is. They do well in most environments that they wind up in. I'd say.
Well, they either end up in a Korean team, which is SKT or Samsung, and then a Chinese team, which there's only been 2 Chinese teams that have won. Or, well, okay. There have been 3 Chinese teams that have won now with EDG. Now, I think it's actually notable that there have been 3 different Chinese teams that have won worlds in the last 4 years. Yeah. And there have only been 3 Korean teams that have won worlds since 2012.
New dominant region question mark?
It just I think that is like everybody says that like China's probably gonna have a lot more of the best players because they have what 80 million players and everywhere the rest of the world for League of Legends is 20 million. That's a rough estimate. So it's hard to like I'm waiting for them to finally find some solo laners who are able to keep up with the Korean solo laners because it's still like they just don't do it. Like, did any of the teams at Worlds this year besides EDG have non-Korean solo laners? Like, I don't think so. Well, I sorry, I mean the Chinese teams. Because FPX doesn't. I hate how slow the freaking wiki loads because there's just so much crap. Oh no, RNG did actually. They had Yahoo and Cryan. And then LNG did too actually. Yeah, they had Ale and Icon, but they were running. They had Tarzan in the jungle. He's the only Korean on the roster.
I still always think that that's that streamer.
That's Tarzan.
Yeah, I know. It always confuses me though because I'm dumb.
But yeah, so we're starting to see it where they find solo laners who are able to compete at an international level. I just pray for the day where regions mean a thing again and we stop having all these imports to other regions. I just want that to be a thing. I'm tired of all the EU players in NA.
There's always going to be some though.
Yeah, but Team Liquid is an entirely non-resident, but like I don't think anybody on TL next year is going to be born from the USA
Or Canada.
or Canada, yeah.
Because Canada counts as NA. Let's not disrespect the Canadian goons.
What is it? It's Bjergsen Whippo inspired.
It's on the notes sheet or on the topic sheet. Whippo, Santorin, Bjerg, Hansama, Core JJ.
Hansama and Core JJ. Hansama from Rogue. Is Hansama?
He's EU.
Wait, hold up.
He's from EU. I don't know what country. So yeah,
Hold up.
it's kind of a segue into our next topic. But I like when, like, you have that sort of nationalism behind the teams. Like, it feels more like there's a bit more of a stakes on it, and you're not just playing for money. Like, it feels like an organization is.
It feels like you have a little bit more regional pride.
Yeah, it's
like
like
you'd be like, yes, North America is doing it. Like our homegrown team.
Yeah, but you both know that right now that wouldn't, even if it was all homegrown, we wouldn't even a little bit.
Oh god! But it's like when you watch the Olympics and you go, like, say you want to watch curling. You're not curling's fucking banger, and don't you dare.
Yeah, I said gamer, dude.
Yeah.
And you want to be like, I want to watch curling. If you're from the U.S., you're like, all right, let's go watch the U.S. curling games when they're on. Mostly because that's easily available because they broadcast most of the U.S. content to us, and they might not broadcast like Germany versus France or Russia or something, but they'll definitely broadcast the U.S. games. So it's easier to watch, but also like you can root for them blindly. You don't have to know who they are. You can just, sure, why not? And that's what I like. That's why I'm sort of looking forward to Riot working with the Olympics to get League in there. But logistically, I'm just
Are
like...
Are they actually going to do that?
They're... well, okay. Right now, the Asian Games has a fully medaled... the sport for League of Legends and a bunch of other esports. One of them is FIFA. I don't fucking know.
Oh, the GP99 video where it was like,
no.
China loves soccer.
But like, it's the video game FIFA, which is pay to win. Which is, sorry, it's pay to maybe win. That's what it is.
It's pay to compete at a high level.
Yes.
Obviously, you need some level of skill as well, but you also need to pay.
But like,
and hope that your chances are good enough, or that you're able to find an EA representative to just simply give you it for a certain amount of money.
So they're trying to like springboard off of the Asia Games to the Olympics, to get the Olympics to make esports more of a thing. I'm not totally sure, like, at all how this is going or how it will work into the schedule or what, but like, I don't want to... The international schedules all fucking suck. Like, it's 11 months from season start to Worlds Finals, and I'm just... It's a lot. It is a lot. It makes it so that covering, especially minor leagues and stuff, is basically pointless. Because at the same time that minor leagues are running, so are the professional leagues. So if you want to cover like relevant content, nobody's going to watch minor league content when they can watch major league content. So unless they're specifically looking for it. So
Mhm.
I can't really spend any of my time looking at Academy stuff because nobody cares. Nobody would care if I made pieces about Academy. Like even the few pieces that Travis Gafford makes, I'm damn sure they get less views than his interviews with Faker.
You can just go check that.
That is true.
There's more to it than view count.
I get the.
I mean, yeah, obviously we don't have like engagement stats, but we can still see views.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just worry how this will affect the schedule. I'm not against it being in the Olympics. In fact, I would find it hilarious to watch all the old boomers being like, "Why are video games in my Olympics?" It's just the schedule, man. The schedule is horrific right now, and you know what? This actually might be the best thing that could possibly happen because having the Olympics behind moving these players around internationally would probably make it easier in general to do this. But I know the Olympics couldn't help a lot of countries with COVID problems because I think Vietnam still had problems with the Olympics, and Vietnam still has problems with League because they still haven't competed in 2 years. It's ridiculous. So yeah, what do you guys think about League of Legends at the Olympics?
I mean, it would be interesting, but NA would get fucking dumpstered so fast.
There'll be so wait. I find that to be wrong because there will be so many other teams from other nations that probably wouldn't be anywhere close.
Well, I'm not saying they would lose to like some random ass country, right? That doesn't like have like strong pro representatives, but I just mean like of the nations we would expect to see perform well, or of the areas of the world we would expect to perform well, right? Like you're gonna see the Danish team is about to be disgusting.
Oh yeah,
like it's about to be heinous.
Denmark's
the Korean team is the Korean team. The Chinese team is the Chinese team. Like, what are we gonna do, bro? Like, we can't even beat like 2 Danish dudes, let alone 5, dog. Like, we're down. We can't even use the Danes to beat the Danes, bro. We're down bad. Like what? Like we obviously we would beat a bunch of countries. Because we are still like not awful, but like we probably wouldn't medal.
No. I don't know. I think it's gonna come down to bracket, depending on where we medal.
No, I follow Matt with this one. Also, like China's representatives, throwing back to that stat that you're talking about, how there hasn't been a winning team without a Korean solo laner since 2012. What is China gonna do too? Because their roster is gonna have Flandre, and then I can't think of another laner.
Xiaohu went top, didn't he?
Xiaohu is a top laner for RNG, if I remember correctly. Currently, he could probably roll swap back. I don't think so.
They could run
maybe, but it doesn't really matter that bad. I'm sure they could find one, dog.
Like there are 16 mid laners in starting positions in the LPL,
and they're all Korean.
Not all of them. No, I literally went over the fact that there are.
Oh, true. Yeah.
There are like 5 Chinese solo laners. Like they would probably run Cryon.
Is the Shy Chinese?
No.
No, he's Korean.
I don't know where he's from.
He's Korean. This is the first time he's a solo laner who won Worlds.
True, you're right.
Japan is also their roster.
They're running 3 Koreans on that roster.
Yeah. Japan's also going to have trouble. It would be interesting to see. What basically is going to happen is that we're going to see a couple high-level European players, and basically the Liga. What is it? The Champions Series? I'm forgetting what the European Series has come from.
It wouldn't be a random EU roster. It would be country to country.
Yeah, like the Danish roster will probably be the best one.
They're not taking the best of the European players. They're taking the best players from Denmark, the best players from Germany. Right? Like that's how the Olympics works.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the EU, I believe it's the Challenger Series.
Championship.
Championship.
No, it's not Challengers. It's.
Who's smoking dope? What's happening?
So there's basically like a minor league in EU where it's a lot of the teams tend to be like regular teams that play together.
Champions League. That is how League of Legends currently functions, basically.
So like the Mad Lions roster originally came from Spain.
Yes.
Yeah, like the Mad Lions org. So like there would be a lot of teams that from Europe that would still be competing at like relatively
Well,
at a relative level.
Europe has the ERLs, which is national-based leagues.
Oh yeah, we'd get smacked by a lot of some of them.
lot
I
of
mean,
them,
the Danes would probably still smack every other like.
Well, the Danes have a whole roster in the LEC and LCS, so you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I
The
think
Danes are
the
dirty.
Danes, the Spanish, maybe Germany, or maybe France. We'd have to watch out for them. I don't think any other nation in Europe is all that scary.
What I'll say, not just about our chances of winning, because I'm kind of over it. I've accepted the fact that we're going to get shit rocked. Is I do think that it is a good thing if it is included. I think the more mainstream esports become, and obviously esports, since you and I have started watching esports, Anthony, it's become a lot more mainstream than it used to be. But even still, putting it in the Olympics, I think, is a good way to add a level of sort of social acceptability to it, as like not necessarily like a guaranteed career path, but just the same way you would think about like athletes in general. And honestly, that may help us get better as a region, right? The more we can just be like, okay, like this is a legitimate thing, we can invest in it. Like as soon as shit like the Olympics is on the line and international prestige matters to a nation, like we're gonna start investing so much money. Like we're gonna be, and it's gonna be completely different. You know what I mean? Like.
I'm just scared.
I mean, also it might not, right? But it'll happen if it goes to the Olympics. It might not happen in North America, but it'll happen somewhere, right? And that's still good for the game.
I don't think there's a negative to putting it in the Olympics besides the scheduling issues. Like I just don't think there's nothing to lose here for Riot. Like what goes wrong? We have a bad tournament. Anybody remember IEM?
Yeah.
That shit was awful. You want to wait 15 minutes between champ select and game start? Oh boy. Oh, I hated that so much.
I just think it would be good for the sport, right? Because you get more people all over the world with eyes on it, more level of acceptability, right? Like it's hard to say that something that's in the Olympics isn't respectable as a sport. You know what I mean? Even if you don't personally like it, it's hard to be like, it's not even a sport, bro. Like it's just, all right, dog.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot
about it.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of people who've like won tournaments, like Buka from Fortnite, like kind of wind up on TV and get ridiculed a little bit.
I mean,
yeah, and there's no guarantee it'll work, right? Like Magic the Gathering used to be on ESPN, but like that doesn't mean it was it worked.
CS:GO was on TBS.
Yeah, but you know, it could still get some people more eyes on the sport. More eyes on the sport means potentially more players, more social acceptability, more pathways for, you know, improving the league, right?
I'm more looking forward. I'm looking forward to it being more of a like a thing at the high school level, maybe, because I would have loved to actually like play League of Legends mostly competitively in high school. It would have been so much more interesting to play the game that way back then, but I don't know. The game is it's trying to learn the Korean style back in 2012 or 2013 would have been ridiculous.
Yes, don't do anything until 40 minutes and then win.
All right, we have a 7-minute invade at blue buff, then we sit there and farm.
Actually, I wonder if it would be like old basketball where like it's amateur only. Like up until the late 80s, early 90s, we weren't allowed to send professional NBA players to the Olympics. We could only send people who did not compete for money, right? Just like the fucking Miracle on Ice shit. So like if it's like that, we wouldn't even be seeing like a Bjergsen roster in the Olympics, you know? It's not clear how it would work, obviously, but it would be interesting to see, because if it was amateurs, we would certainly get smacked up. But, you know, it would be interesting for sure.
I don't think it being amateurs only would have much to do with with North America's success rate. Just saying.
No, and certainly not. However, you know what I'm saying. It would just be interesting to see how it worked out.
If you just bar the top tier players, I don't think there's enough players in general to really do that. it would only seek to
You
bring
would get
down
college kids because that's who we used to send to play these sports.
Yeah,
was
that's
amateur
exactly-
players and college kids.
That's exactly what would happen, at least in
But
the US.
that would be interesting because it would, in some sense, potentially incentivize more colleges to invest more in esports programming. If in the same way they invest in other things that are Olympic potential or professional potential, right? Like it won't necessarily, but it could lead to more like investment in that way, which I think is interesting.
That might have made my life a lot easier, actually. I was working really hard at college to like get a bunch of bullshit done for the esports club and the league club and the game club. It was
Yeah, but if it's
so
like,
much
okay,
bullshit.
like some of these people could go to the Olympics, then
Yeah.
the school's going to invest way more money into it because it's really good for the school to pump out Olympians, even if it's pumping them out in League of Legends. Like,
We pumped out 155 Olympians last year. These are all for video games. You're goddamn right.
you're goddamn right, bro. Our siege, undefeated. Our league, undefeated. Our StarCraft, somehow still relevant and undefeated.
Our Overwatch team was top 4 in the collegiate season, or top 8 in the
Wow,
collegiate
that's
season.
impressive for a dead game that I love and play all the time.
Yeah, you didn't know them. You should talk to Dion about them. Oh boy, was that a fiasco.
I've heard some things.
Oh,
They were not necessarily positive.
I don't think I had anything positive to say about them. All right. That's enough about the Olympics. I think we all would like to see it, if only because it would probably make doing things with the esports
I might actually watch the
better.
Olympics, poggers.
I don't know. I love watching curling, actually.
Would esports be summer or winter?
I have no idea. That's the question I'm asking. Regardless, it's indoors.
If it's summer, listen, if it's summer and they do an outside tournament, I'm literally flipping a shit, dude.
Oh my
Those
God.
outside tournaments are dog shit, and I don't understand why anybody does them.
I don't know.
You ever heard XQC talk about the one Overwatch tournament he went to that was outside? Every time he got peaked, his game froze because the PC was overheating in the sun. There was no shade, and they were on a V-shaped stage, and his team, Team Canada, was looking into the sun, and the enemy team was in the shade. So the enemy team, he couldn't see his monitor, and his PC was overheating, and his game was freezing. If we do it summer and it's outside, I lose my mind.
I would have refused to play if that was like, I can't see, my computer's freezing. Like, no.
There was some outdoor CSGO tournament a few years ago that got canceled just because it started raining. And like it rained for like a week. And they were just like, oh yeah, we can't do the tournament. Like we don't have an indoor venue. Like
even when they did the spring finals at that theater for NA.
Oh yeah.
They had them in these like booths, but apparently the booths were really rickety.
Bad. Just have it inside.
I think
Yeah.
I think that was the only place they could have it in a stadium at the time, because that was during COVID.
Yeah.
Fair, but still, you know what I mean.
I would.
In general, tournaments should not be outdoors.
I mean, what I would have done is I would have had the Pentacle performance there, and maybe do the analyst desk show there, and then have the players playing from the studio. I guess having like, you only need to have the stadium on if you're doing it all at the stadium, whereas if you added up both, you need to do both, and it's a bit of a thing. But it's more work, definitely, but I would have preferred it if they split it up like that. If only because I feel like the players got to be more comfortable indoors, but with the Perks Light thing, and everyone complains that it's cold all the time, and Jensen was really like, hey, we need the fans back because it's too freaking cold in the arena. That was the funniest interview I've seen in a while. Alright, let's talk about the hell on earth that is North American roster moves.
Oh, I'm so excited for this one, bud.
Yay.
Can you hear the pain in my voice, or should I make it more clear?
Do we want to start off with Doublelift and Jensen? I know they're all the way at the bottom.
Yes.
Like, okay. The rumor has it that Doublelift is coming back to North America.
You mean like I said last week, and you said, no, that's some fuck shit, Matt. You're a fucking idiot. Bro, I called it. That's all I'm saying. If he comes back, I called it, and you cannot tell me I didn't.
Here's the problem, is I think he has one team that he can go to.
Which
That's
team?
Cloud9. He's not going to TL. Probably not going to TSM. Jensen. EG still has Danny. He's not going to CLG. He's not going to any of the bottom 5 teams. I can guarantee you that.
No shot, dude.
And
He spent too much time on CLG for that.
Yeah.
I don't see 100 Thieves dropping FBI.
I actually can't believe you didn't jump on my CLG diss, but fair enough.
So the only place I can see him landing is Cloud9. That is the only team that I think has a spot for him to go to, unless
Is
EG.
Sven's leaving, right? I don't remember.
We have no idea, but I don't know what his contract is either. But it's the only spot that he hasn't been to previously and have a bad relationship with, is a top team that competes for the title and world spots and world championship. Couldn't say that with a straight face.
Fuck you.
And they're also the only team that doesn't have a star that is very probably staying. EG is the only other team that could possibly change their roster, but if EG gets rid of Danny, it's the dumbest roster move I've ever seen, and I watched TSM get rid of Double Up and Biofrost. I watched that happen with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah. And then they brought it back several years later, wasn't it?
No.
No.
They've never brought that back. The Double Biofrost. Yes, they have. They did. That's how they won 2020.
Okay.
With the good old bot lane duelists. I'm mad. They probably could have got Haunter, but getting Sven from C9 would have been tricky. Wait, was he on C9 then?
I don't know.
I think it was on EG. It still would have been tricky.
Sven, which Sven? Sven Skaren or Sven?
Skaren.
By the way, did you see what Vulcan did when Double Up was streaming?
He was duoing with him.
He DM'd in the client Double Up, said, "Did you see Jack's message? Oh shit, wrong chat." While he was on stream.
Double Up posted a video of that just says Double Up joins Cloud9.
I know, I saw.
It was the funniest shit. The subreddit was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?"
I liked all the first minute he was like, "Did you get your C9 jersey yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got it for the photo shoot. What about it?"
The off season's sometimes fun. Sometimes it's horrific.
This is crazy. We still don't know what's really going on here.
Right. So yeah, let's talk about TL real quick. TL, this is a pretty confirmed roster. If this doesn't happen, I'll be pretty surprised. It's just everyone's saying it. TL normally has their roster down pretty early, and we got like a week and a half before signing, so I'm pretty sure this is it. But TL's roster is Bwipo, Santorin, Bjergsen, Han, Sama, Core, JJ.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want to watch this roster. It's scary.
It can either be the best roster ever or the most insane.
Or it's going to brick City.
Yeah. Bjerg and Bwipo coming back are kind of questions. Santorin still...
what do you mean?
Oh, Bjerg and Santorin can play together again. That went so well for TSM.
That's
we won a title on it, I think.
Yeah, I am Katowice.
Not as far as Cloud9, that's right, my fault.
That was?
Ever?
Mm-hmm. Also, Santorin's been... I hope Santorin's health issues clear up. I would be sad.
Yeah, I mean, I like to make fun of Santorin just because he was on both of your guys' teams, and I like to make fun of you guys. But obviously, it's always bad when a player is injured.
Wait, what team was he on of Haymant's?
FlyQuest for like ever?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
right.
was. Yeah, for one.
What the fuck? Did you not remember that?
I completely forgot that. I forgot that he got second twice on that team, didn't he?
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He like popped off.
Yeah.
I forgot that happened.
I only ever said he didn't pop off just to fuck with Haymant.
That was the time when people were like, "Oh shit! Wait a minute, he's a good jungler." After that H2K stint that he had in EU.
Yeah, but he had, like, there was some time in between having, because he went back to EU and I hadn't seen him, right? Like,
yeah, H2K had like their worst season ever,
which isn't his fault, but
no, no, it isn't. But he came back and people were like, "Oh, God, he can pop off." Wait a minute. Anyhow, Bjerg's coming back to the mid lane, which is interesting. Actually, I don't think that's not too bad.
You just hate to see Bjergsen on not TSM.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
we're gonna see how that goes through. Hans,
Imagine, dude. Sorry to cut you off, Haymant. Imagine if Bjergsen goes to TL, they get the title, and TSM is like bottom 3. Like, imagine how angry you would be.
That's not impossible.
I know. Imagine how mad you would be, though.
I don't think I have ever wanted TSM to beat Team Liquid more. Never in my life have I wanted TSM to absolutely clown on a team this hard.
On God, brother.
That's gonna be super hard, especially when Whippo real swapping back. I think he's still gonna be a good top laner. Like, I don't.
What did he play before?
Jungle.
Only for a split though.
In a Worlds tournament.
What's the next roster, Doug?
All right. Next up, we have TSM. It's confirmed 100% that Huni and Speaker are both staying.
Thank God for you.
It is rumored that Tactical will be coming in as their AD carry. We do not know what is happening with their mid lane or support at the moment.
Good luck with Tactical. Speaker's always good. Good luck with Huni.
Huni's good when he has good teammates. We know that.
Yes.
Look at the pain on Anthony's face. Do you need us to swap off this topic?
Sure. I honestly don't have much to say besides I'm scared for Tactical.
Well, you don't want him, or?
No, I don't want Tactical.
Who's your mid laner gonna be?
I don't fucking know.
Unlucky. Sounds like a skill issue.
I think there's a rumor. I think I closed the sheet. There's a rumor about who it is, but I don't know.
What's the rumor?
I don't remember who it is. It's not a known player. It's not a well-known player. It's somebody from either an ERL or Academy.
From where?
Yeah.
European Regional League.
Okay.
Real shame about that sword art, huh? Real shame.
I don't know why we bothered. Why did we bother? $6 million for what? Okay.
Middling results and no chance at no world spot.
EG. This is the only roster move rumored around EG. I think there's been some chatter about Svenskeren, but I don't think there's been anything super concrete. Jensen coming in the mid lane is
to EG?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to ADC.
Well, they have Hansama now.
Oh, true. You think he's mad?
Considering his other option is probably not playing, yes. So yeah.
You think he's salty that he's not even ADC for TL?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened with the Jensen AD carry thing. It might have been that they got lucky to get Hansama. But it also might have been that everyone on the team is like, hey, can we not put Jensen as AD carry? That'd be great.
That's true. And again, Hansama is a great AD carry. I feel like he's demonstrated that during the Rogue versus Damwon series and in Group A, even though unfortunately Rogue went out. Oh yeah,
we're talking about EG getting Jensen, replacing Jizuke. I think it's a little weird considering how much a face of the org Jizuke was becoming. You know?
Yeah.
And I really think his contract's up.
I think Jizuke was, well, he was unstable as always, but it felt like he was getting a little better.
Their strategy was to play to Jizuke's go deep, don't stop playstyle. And it was kind of working for them towards the end.
It showed how good it could be, and then it also showed how bad it could be. Don't forget that time that both Jizuke and Svenskeren were diving a tier 2 turret with nobody around them. And do not also forget the classic Jizuke on Lucian. I will go in and I will die to the turret instead.
Gamer moment.
Sometimes it is hard to 1v1 the champion when there's an actual turret protecting them. Go figure. So hopefully Jensen has, I don't think that Jensen has as much upside. Like, I think Jensen performs in the playoffs, and I think that's probably what they're going for. But during the regular season, Jensen didn't look that great, and I expect him not to look that great during this regular season either.
I think he's just a much more consistent upgrade over Jizuke. Just don't give him Azonius.
Oof.
Unfortunately, he has to go to shop and he probably has to buy that item most of the time.
So I don't really understand why Jensen might be headed to a gap year, because it feels like TSM should also be interested in him. They don't have a mid laner, and I don't see why we would bring up a new mid laner when Jensen's available.
And probably would do it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't see a reason why Jensen wouldn't want to go to TSM, unless he has some bad relationship with them that I don't know about, that no one has hinted at. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
That would have gotten
Jensen's
leaked.
pushed out. Like,
If
it's
there
just-
was beef, it would have been leaked. Like, we know that.
I don't know. I guess TSM's currently gambling a little bit, which I don't
That's
completely.
stupid. It's like, yes, it might work, but also just you could pick up Jensen, who you know is like pretty good. And then also TSM, I guess they just want to keep hovering Echo against Jensen instead of, which they can't do if he's on their team. But
That is true. Instead, it would have to be Jensen hovering Echo all the time.
and that would just make TSM scared
if I ever
because they saw what happened.
get in a game against Jensen, I need to hover Echo all the time. It's never gonna happen.
You're
Actually,
never gonna get in a game.
I might
against-
get into a show match of some kind randomly. Who knows?
It have to be
Unlucky.
several years down the line.
Not that far. If I get, they do this shit all the time. If you like go to in-person events, they'll have a few of the pros around to like they'll do 1v1s or they'll do mixed 5v5s or something.
Yeah, but if you disrespect Jensen with the Echo hover, you're gonna get your ass clapped out with body by
Come get me.
Jensen.
Come get me.
You're gonna see him all of a sudden just pull out the cologne bottle and just place it on the table.
Hey, look, I'll just put it this way. I haven't lost a 1v1 since 2014.
How many have you been in?
A few dozen.
Okay. Well,
How many of them were against randoms on the internet that were shit talking?
Absolutely zero. I
Who
would
are they
never.
against?
I would never actually just 1v1 some rando who gave me shit. No, fuck you. You're not worth
Who
my
are they
time.
against?
People in the club, the
Okay.
friend group.
Mhm.
I don't think I've 1v1 people in like a year. The last person I beat was Doug.
Mm.
You couldn't beat me.
Huh?
You could never beat me.
You're one of the few people, well, not the few people, but like you're one of the people that I would likely play a 1v1 against that would probably beat me. If well, not probably, but like you have the
I
one
have
of the
a
highest
shot.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
You Tony could if he wanted to.
Tony would have to focus and not get mad if he like got down early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't.
Tony would have to get a cannon minion. That's what would have to happen. Tony would have to have the cannon not die in his lane.
Doug can, but I don't know. I think
I
don't
think
know.
I could clap you out in the no runes, no items, zillion first to
We
100
can't
farm.
not have runes.
Okay. The fake runes like some guardian shit or something useless, and then you just run zillion straight into the ground,
Last
run it
hit
down
only.
ARAM. Last hit only, first to 100, no items.
Look, I'm just saying, if I ever beat Faker in a 1v1, I would never stop talking.
To be clear, it's also it's auto attacks only for that. You can't even throw bombs at the waves. It's the classic zillion mirror.
Mhm. Oh man.
I just want a 1v1 Faker. I want to prove that I'm better.
All right, what's
Okay.
next?
I will win one game and then never play League of Legends again.
What's next?
CLG's roster.
All right.
Counter logic.
You got Contracts, Palafox, Luger, and Poom. Luger and Poom are a duo from Hunter Thieves Academy last year.
Mhm.
I remember the name Poom.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
Poom
played
went
briefly.
straight from like in 3 months from Challenger to LCS.
Bit of a
And-
gamer, I hear.
It was okay. It's fine.
Contracts isn't bad when he's on. He's been on pretty well in the past. I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know. Like I just don't know about CLG anymore. I feel like I can always trust CLG to find a way to throw.
Yeah, but this
True.
time it's there's a very low bar here.
What did you say, Anthony?
You mean 10th place? Can it go lower, Haymant?
They
That
might invent a new spot called the CLG that's 3 or 4 below 10th, and they vacate 10th place and
We're gonna
give.
double
so
the
like a
league
real
size.
a
and
spot
there's gonna
that's
be a
really
CLG
count.
line.
We're
a
gonna
spot
double the
that's-
league size, but it's like all the other teams are bots, and CLG's still gonna drop a game to the bot. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God! A spot that's really counter logic.
I'm kidding. I apologize.
Don't
Jeez,
apologize
man.
to Hotshot. He deserves it.
Hotshot's cool. He dyed his hair pink one time because he lost a game or something.
He lost
Yeah.
a bet to Reggie.
To
It was
Reggie,
funny.
yeah.
Did they? I think I heard that they
He
got it like
forced
their
Afro
entire.
to learn support instead of AD carry.
Oh, the CLG roster?
I think they
He's
got
gone.
it their entire coaching staff.
Oh, their GM's different. I don't know about the rest of it.
Okay, I
right.
know that they're still keeping Finn. If I
think.
Do you
Finn's
think this is gonna
exploring
help them?
options.
no.
I think I'm pretty sure Finn's exploring options. I don't know if
Okay.
they're keeping Finn. Finn's under contract, but I don't think they're keeping
Do
him.
you think this is gonna help Anthony?
It can't hurt.
It can't hurt. But like, how if you expect to see an improvement, do you think it would be a substantive one or like a minor improvement?
Anything's better than 10th place, Matt. I don't like. I cannot say whether this will or will not be better.
Do you think it will put them middle of the pack instead of 10th?
No.
Do you think it'll put them 8th or 9th instead of 10th?
I think it could, but I feel
Easy
like
clap. Good enough.
I feel like it's dependent on the other team's choices. All right, let's move on to
I think that's
FlyQuest. This is the last team that we have a lot of like more confirmed rumors about in North America. You got Tuli Cooley. I'm pretty sure he's the mid laner. And then you have Johnson and Afromu reuniting. Johnson was on this team last year and he renewed, I think. And then Afromu coming in from Dignitas. Afromu is like this veteran who's silently moving around the league, just sort of being an okay support.
Yeah,
It'd have been interesting if he went to TSM.
he's very consistent. For how long he's been here. There isn't really a downside to getting him. I'm gonna hope that he can fix Johnson. They had that magic on Dignitas ages ago. I hope that he can fix him.
I was
I really
unhappy
do.
when Johnson left Dig.
I was unhappy when Johnson played Ezreal last split. It made me very unhappy. So I really hope that him and Afromu can get the magic back. I don't know what to expect from the mid laner. There's no expectation there.
I think Tuli Cooley's he's definitely from Academy. He wasn't starting.
The question is, are they bringing up the rest of their Academy roster, Nixie over to the jungle, or... Well, I have no clue who they'd have as top laner.
Their current one is Fake God, right?
I believe so. Let me double check that.
Watching Fake God play top lane hurt me. That man was bleeding gold. I think Dignitas really could have done very well if they had a slightly better top laner. Mind you, they also had Dardoch, which was a problem, but get rid of Dardoch, you lose playoffs. I don't know what to tell you.
True, by the way.
I believe it's Kumo is the top laner.
Kumo's on FlyQuest.
Correct.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about Dignitas' top laner. Okay.
No, we're talking the roster moves we're talking about. So
I mean, I don't know if Kumo's staying or not. His contract ends next year.
Yeah. Jose Dioto's gone.
Stay this year though. Like, where else would he go?
Palafox left.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize that. Oh God, who's their mid laner now?
That's the guys whose name you were saying for the last couple of seconds.
Tuli Cooley.
I'm gonna assume that it's pronounced like Tukuli or Tukui, something around those pronunciations.
Do we have any other roster moves to talk about though?
Or Tukui.
We got one more. That is Levi coming back.
Captain Levi. Hey.
Where's he going?
We have no idea, but he's apparently been in talks with LCS orgs.
Holy crap! That's amazing.
For player or for coach?
I'm assuming for player. I get the okay. So Levi made a super team in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And Vietnam hasn't been to Worlds for 2 years.
Yes.
and they might not be at the next 2 international events either.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame the guy for coming back.
So, leaving Vietnam sounds like a great option for all of these players who want to participate in the international stage. This has basically destroyed Vietnam's chance at becoming the next major region, though. So, RIP Vietnam. Let's hope you can keep it going for another 5 years so you can become a major region when COVID's finally dead in the next decade.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to pick it up. Somehow Vietnam's been able to produce a lot of good teams on the international stage. Like, of course, we remember Gigabyte Marines, but Phong Vu Buffalo wasn't that bad either. Yeah, no, I think they've got a good chance later on.
Understood.
I'm looking forward to Levi coming back. He was
Me too.
really
It should be a poggers moment.
All right. I am out of topics.
Well, congratulations to Edward Gaming, and for the last time this season, Ant, you want to take us home?
Yeah, that'll do it for us this week and this season on the Legendary League of Legends podcast. I don't know if you'll be able to catch us live next season. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what goes down.
But have a nice day.
Have a great night, gang.